We're just gonna move that over. Ayaneo is doing something very interesting. I think Ayaneo is like the king of interesting devices. I want to show you guys their interesting devices. Ayaneo does cool things. I think when they do normal ass devices, they kind of just lose to the big players in the market like Asus and Lenovo and MSI, right? But if they do like the more interesting things, they probably have some very nice devices on their hands, right? So the Kun or the Quinn, I don't know how to say it. It's huge. It's big. It's massive. It's like bigger than a Legion Go, but it doesn't have detachable controllers. It has dual trackpad, so it has all the same things that a Steam Deck has. And it has a 74 watt-hour battery, 75 watt-hour battery, sorry, and basically a Z1 Extreme. So it had a giant battery and the best processor before, you know, the ROG Ally X did. It also had a 4G expansion module, which is very interesting, right? So that's something that doesn't exist on any other handheld. The Ayaneo Slide is basically like a GDP win, but without the trackpad, or like a Sidekick. Was it the T-Mobile Sidekick? I can't remember the name of that phone. It was the Sidekick or like the BlackBerry, the ones with like the slide up screen, zoop, and then you could like type on the keyboard and stuff. That's what this slide is. The slide has a slide up screen with a full keyboard underneath, but it does all of the controls necessary to use it as a gaming handheld PC. Mine is a trackpad. I think if this thing had a trackpad, it would have been so fucking in there. But I mean, Joy to Mouse, I guess, is what they use on the Ayaneo devices in ISpace. So I guess not the worst thing in the world. Once again, let's look at one more device that I think is pretty interesting. They have two versions of this. They have the Flip DS and the Flip KB. This is the Flip DS. If you like Wii U or Nintendo DS or 3DS and you want to emulate them, just spend a lot of fucking money and get this. You know, why not? It says get it on Indiegogo, so I guess it's not out yet. But it's got the full controls of all of the other handhelds, but it has two screens, a very interesting concept, right? So the reason why I bring these up is because Ayaneo is good at doing interesting things, right? When they do their very normal devices like the Ayaneo 2, the Ayaneo Geek, the Ayaneo Air 1S, even though it's small and Air, they're not that interesting. They're generally just normal devices, but either bigger or the same size, smaller or the same size as devices that already exist, but cost more, right? With generally pretty lackluster customer service, but exploring innovative modular design. I think that's a good way to put it. Thanks, Ayaneo. That's a great way to put it. They're creating the very first modular gaming handheld PC. The first buyable modular gaming handheld PC. Surely someone could be doing this in their fucking garage right now or at like a workshop with 3D printed tools. But this is going to be something you can buy. Maybe even at a Best Buy, because two of Ayaneo's devices exist in Best Buy online at least. This is the Ayaneo 3, which is not really the third Ayaneo device, because I just showed you three devices. And they've had like the 1S, the Geek, the 2021. They've had a lot of models. The next Lite. This is the third in the mainline Ayaneo devices. And this one is interesting because the control modules are removable. They click in, they click out. You can swap them. You can even swap the buttons around. You can move the buttons so that if you want them in a different layout, you can have both thumbsticks at the top. If you're a Nintendo Switch gamer, a Nintendo Switch Pro Controller user, or is that a Wii U Pro Controller? It was a Wii U Pro Controller. You can have touchpad on both, a touchpad on one, traditional controls, a 6-button control. Very interesting. And it looks like it's a full glass front panel display, kind of like the Odin Portal, the Odin 2 Portal. And it's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, they have an OLED version of this, and all of the modules, all of the thumbsticks are Hall effect. So they're at least doing that. So let's go to the Indiegogo page and kind of look at how much stuff's going to cost. Holy shit, I'm sorry for flashbanging you guys. My bad. So, it looks like it hit its flex goal. Well, it hit its flex goal. That's cool. Here's the modules, the colors. They only have black and white, it looks like. They don't have a retro power one. Not this time yet, at least. And then they have all of the different ones you can get. So you can get a perk tier, and these are all the early bird prices. So you get to save a little bit of money. They have an OLED version with 16 gigs of RAM, and a 512 gigabyte of half a terabyte hard drive with an 8840U. They have an LCD version, same price, so I don't think you should ever get the LCD version, same spec, just with an LCD screen. Then they have a 32 gigabyte with a 1 terabyte hard drive, or SSD rather, for $900. The LCD, same thing, $900. I don't think there's any reason for the LCD version to exist, I guess. But I guess they know that people are going to claim the OLED ones first. Yeah, 14 OLEDs have been claimed, 10 OLEDs have been claimed. 0 LCDs of either have been claimed, which is pretty funny. I don't see any reason why you would get the LCD over the OLED, personally. Like, if they're the same price and someone's pulling your leg about it, like showing you the difference. The project team has a working demo, not the final product. Their ability to begin production may be affected by product development or financial challenges, but they are at the prototype stage. And then here's the retro power version, and the retro power version is the only version that comes with 64 gigabytes, I believe. Yeah, and it's an 8840U variant. Yeah, it's an 8840U variant, and this is $1,200. Once again, 0 claimed of the LCD version. And it also comes with the Magic modules. It looks like the other ones don't, so you'd have to buy the Magic modules separate if you don't get the retro power model. Which is a little unfortunate, but I think the modules are also priced on here somewhere. They also have a Ryzen AI 9 HX 370 variant, and that's $1,300 for the only version. There's only one version of that, basically. The only difference is they have a 64 gigabyte version, but who's really going to buy this? You have to be a freak to need that much RAM. So if you're just looking at the normal spec'd out, not crazy version, looking at $1,300 for either the LCD or the OLED. 30 people have already claimed the OLED HX 370 version. Holy crap, they've got money. Can you guys get me one too, please? Thanks, that'd be cool. And then same thing with the retro power versions. They're the only ones that come with the Magic modules. And I don't see the price of the Magic modules anywhere, but it looks like you buy them in a full set. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 modules in it. Maybe it's 8 modules. I'm tripping. It has 8 modules in it. I don't know why I only counted 6. 1, 2. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it has 6 modules in it. And the modules' main differences are that one is the normal ABXY layout and has thumbsticks. The other one has trackpads. Or you have a 6-button layout with X, Y, and Z, A, B, C, and then you have a circle D-pad, which is on the Ayaneo Kun, and you have 1 thumbstick, right? But remember, you can also mix and match these. So if you want this circle D-pad, but you want a normal ABXY on the other side, or you want a touchpad and an ABXY on the other side, you can do that. Because these are mix and matchable. Right? And the cooler thing is, they pop out very easily. There's like a button or something, and then it just like snaps out and snaps back in. This is a very interesting looking device, and I'm hoping that it turns out well and it doesn't need a lot of RMA, because not to knock them, but they're a Chinese company, so getting a device from them, if it doesn't go well and you don't have a good experience, most of the time returning it to try to get a refund or to get it fixed is damn near impossible. Like, it's like a set and forget. You buy it and you're either going to enjoy your $1,200 experience or you're out $1,200. And it looks like the OLED version is 144 hertz with a high refresh rate, but no VRR, because they don't want to deal with potentially the OLED flicker that happens on some OLED devices with VRR. But the LCD version is 120 hertz and has VRR, which is cool. But of course, it only has 800. It only has 500 nits of brightness in comparison to 800. Both of these, if you guys are fans of the 16:10 aspect ratio, the unfortunate part is these are 7-inch screens, so similar to the ROG Ally. So I guess the standard size, or the size most people consider standard for these gaming PC handhelds, 7-inch, 7.4-inch for the Steam Deck. But it's only 1080p. It's not a 1200p display. It's not 16:10, it's 16:9. So if you're used to those slightly taller devices, slightly taller screen devices, you don't have that here. And that's really it. That's everything about the device outside of things like ISpace, which I can't speak on because I've never owned an Ayaneo device, so I have no idea. Talking about really good sound. From reviews I've seen of Ayaneo devices, some have great sound, some have terrible sound, so hopefully they're working on their sound stages and sound profiles out of the box so they're a little bit better. And then the two different performance tiers for the graphics and for the CPUs, we're looking at the Ryzen AI 9 HX370, which is 12 cores, 24 threads, and an RDNA 3.5. I think it's an 890M. Is an 890M built on RDNA 3.5. And this is the 8840U, which is using the 780M on RDNA 3. It's got, oh, it says right here 890M. Wow, I should read. And it has 8 cores and 16 threads, which it doesn't show here for some fucking reason, but I already know that, so I don't have to look it up or anything. It's got LPDDR5X memory, which means that it is soldered. It is soldered. You cannot take it out because they don't have LPDDR5X as laptop memory. They only have a LPDDR5 as laptop memory, and then it's using a full-size 2280 PCIe SSD, which is pretty cool, right? And especially because it's a not so big device, right? It's not like an 8-inch screen or 8.4-inch screen. It's not as big as Legion Go, and they're still managing to use the standard size SSD, which is good. I don't see anywhere here what the battery capacity is, though. And I would really like to know if this is going to have a decently sized battery. It's got OcuLink. It's got 2 USB 4 ports. It's got a headphone jack. It's got Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 6, I assume. Surely it's not Wi-Fi 7. Go up to 35 watts on the HX370 version. Where is the battery? Operating system, Windows 11. It is 700 grams with modules installed. 690, so a little bit heavier than Steam Deck. It's only a 49 watt hour battery, so the same as something like Legion Go. So if you think the Legion Go doesn't get great battery life, if you get the LCD version of this, you also won't get great battery life. The OLED panels use less power, so you might get slightly better battery using the OLED version, which is cool, but I would have hoped for a better battery, especially at these prices. This is an interesting device, though. And given the opportunity to get my hands on one, if it was, you know, emailed, if I got an email saying, hey, you want to review this and send it back to us, I would absolutely do that. I would absolutely give my honest opinion on it, regardless of getting it for free or having to send it back would change nothing. But I would love to see if this device survives in the wild and if people are able to play it without potentially breaking it and not being able to deal with a good RMA process. Probably just as bad as something like Asus's original RMA process. Do you guys think this is interesting? Is this a cool looking device? Does it pique your interest in a way that other PC handhelds haven't? Would you pick one up at the prices listed? Would you pick one up if it was a little cheaper or at a big box retailer where returns are easier? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel where I talk about gaming handhelds, tech, fighting game news, whatever the fuck I feel like talking about, truly, and reaction content. Just subscribe to the channel and you'll get more content, hopefully, when I'm not sick, so I can remember to put stuff out. Anyways, this is Beanie Thuggish yapping about the Ayaneo 3, seeing if it looks exciting or not, signing out and saying peace.